Thank you very much. I'm very excited to talk to you about my case. It's very, I have to follow these rules. It's very exciting because it will be some lessons learned. And I think there's a lot for me to learn, maybe from you. Maybe you can help me in this case. So yeah, when I looked at the presentation from the other room yesterday, I read the title and it was really, it sounded really interesting to me. Melting Korean business strength into the German culture. And I thought, wow, melt. Can you melt knowledge management into an organization? So I'm a knowledge manager at Hamburg Wasser. So we do have this role. We don't have real knowledge management yet, so we're on our way, hopefully. At Hamburg Wasser, we love water. So we supply drinking water and we do wastewater treatment. And there are very, very many very passionate people working in this place. You wouldn't expect it. It's, of course, a public company, but people are quite passionate about water. But we're also rather the stability guys. You can imagine what I mean when talking about change. And there are so many changes hitting us really hard. It's the climate change, it's the demographic change that is hitting us very, very hard. And there are so many other changes, the digital transformation, of course, as well, and we have to deal with it at the same time. That's really tough. So yeah, when I read the title, I thought a year ago I would have said, yes, you can. And a few months ago in summer, I started building up a user group, a connected team all over Hamburg Wasser from all departments talking about knowledge management. I would have said, yes, of course we can. It needs some time, but we can. And in December we had big problems and I would have said, never, ever. But right now I'm still wondering, and maybe you can help me. So what I'm going to do is tell you two stories of Tom, two alternative stories, because I think it's easier to talk about knowledge management when you're making it tangible and you're not talking about some discipline, be it knowledge or intelligence management. And then afterwards, I look at the success factors. So this is the first story of Tom. He's, of course, it's fiction. It's not real. He's 35 years old, and he starts a new job at a water company, Münchhausen, which doesn't exist in reality. And that's a company, and it's an industry he doesn't really know very well. So he's very, very new to the topic. Okay, I actually wanted these bubbles to pop up, but they don't. Okay. Anyway, I'll guide you through, starting here. First day in the team, process planning. One of his colleagues shows Tom what to do and tells him, look at the file server, we have all the documents there, just read. And then they work a lot with SAP, and the next training is in 3 months. So Tom has to get along in this time somehow, and another colleague shows him some basics. And then he has to create his first maintenance orders for his blue-collar workers who do actually the maintenance. And he makes mistakes. He's frustrated, and other people are frustrated too, and it costs a lot. His supervisor is frustrated too and tells him, you should have known this already. So he tries to learn faster. He tries to learn from Gerd, his colleague, who's really experienced in what he's doing, but he's so busy with maintenance orders that he has no time at all to share his experience. So Tom tries to talk to other departments where there are the same sorts of teams, but they say, well, there's no one telling us to exchange information with you, so no, we're not interested. We have our guidelines. So Tom tries to look for other sources. He painstakingly searches information of how to do maintenance orders, how to minimize errors. He even finds some ideas. He comes up with suggestions, but there's no one interested in his suggestions. So Tom quits. That's one story of Tom. What went wrong? So you see some people doing this. Yeah, I know this story. I know this story too. So many things went wrong. There's no onboarding buddy, no one takes care of him, no mentoring, no learning paths for him. It takes forever for him to learn this role. There's no database, no intelligence. There's no constructive way of dealing with mistakes. Quite the contrary. And there's no nice way of dealing with experts like Gerd, who has so much knowledge in his head. So learning is somehow, taking place in the old way. And then when you look at all of this, you think of the costs, and you know, I think I don't need to tell you how expensive it is to have this. So let's look at the other story of Tom. It's a bit more colorful. So first day in the team process planning, same Tom. His onboarding begins with a team session. He gets introduced to his nearest colleagues. They invite him to just come along, have a look. They built up some onboarding wiki with all the most important stuff he needs to learn in the beginning. There's no SAP training, but he has a personal learning path. His supervisor and his buddy built for him. And with the help of experienced colleagues, Tom familiarizes himself with SAP quite quickly. So his onboarding, Tina, supports Tom during his first actions. So a rookie error in a maintenance job is recognized very early, and they can evaluate it and say, oh, this is what you did wrong. So this is what you still have to learn. Also, Tom takes part in some moderated expert debriefings with Gerd. That's some sort of interviews they are doing, and this is a way Gerd can explain Tom quite a lot without having him by his side all the time. Tom invites his colleagues from the other departments who also do maintenance orders to some practitioner group. And they talk about maintenance strategy, and they talk about lessons learned. And they collect all of this knowledge they create together. They have a knowledge database where they share it with others as well. They come up with even more ideas, and the maintenance orders and the planning is getting better and better. And also the colleagues who do the maintenance give good feedback. So Tom is so satisfied that he just starts with the next topic, the next innovation. So that's the other version. And I see your faces, and I see people, yeah, that would be so nice if it just was like this. And maybe reality is somewhere in between. But I think there are many things we can look at and ask, so what exactly is the difference here? What have they done well? Why is everyone happy in this story and nobody is happy in the other story? What's the difference between dark and light? What makes a system close down, like in the first story where Tom didn't have a chance? And what makes the second story work? We talked about, or we heard a lot about ATKA today, so I'm not going to repeat this. But there are quite a lot of success factors when you especially look at knowledge management, which is still difficult to grasp. So there are many things you can do well. And there are many things that I did, and I tried to follow this ATKA model, and I talked to very many people. I had discussions and presentations, and we did some hands-on pilot projects. People started really to understand what the problem was when you look at demographic change or other problems in the processes. They started to understand what can be done as well. They started to look at solutions. And I did a pilot project with a maintenance team, people who really do the maintenance. So we were talking about the pumping stations earlier, when these people really go into the pumping station, which is underground. It's a pump that is like pumps the wastewater to the wastewater treatment plant. So we have a lot of these pumping stations, 500 I think in Hamburg. And those people who do this work, we did workshops with, and we asked them, so where are the problems in your daily work? And they started to develop their own solutions. And they started to talk about it to others. They developed short video nuggets on how to do maintenance. They did some short presentations. They developed an onboarding concept, an onboarding plan for the next people to come. They also tried this expert debriefing method, and they really liked it. So this really created some interest and desire, and people were aware of the need that was there. We even tested a knowledge base. So when talking about the infrastructure that has to be there, it was there. People saw and wanted this. That's the feedback we got. And still we don't have it. I suggested a strategy, and I developed a strategy together with colleagues from IT, from HR, from organizational development. We were a team of people trying to fit the strategy into the company's strategy, and we quite liked it, and we presented it. We presented every bigger milestone to the top management. We built up the user group, this expert team I talked about, which has a board as well, consisting of 3 members from top management. So there is awareness, there's need, there's desire. And still, something is missing. It's not working well. And I would say that these are the key success factors. We do need the ATKA success factors, but there's something deeper to even something like knowledge management. So when talking about Tom, his ideas and his experiments are appreciated. People like him trying out new things. They like knowledge exploration and learning as a daily business. It's just part of their culture. And when looking at Hamburg Wasser, I would say we are not there yet. We don't have this sort of culture. We are a very structured, hierarchical company, of course. We have a lot of blue-collar work, and water, of course, has to run every day, so it has to be secured. But what we also don't have is management attention, not in the way we would need it. They look at it and they say, yeah, that's quite nice what you're doing. And then it stops. So I would say, if you're not there yet, if you don't have this learning organization, this culture of everyday learning, and yes, we want to and we appreciate experiments, if you have a company, or if you're in a company that is structured, if you know spiral dynamics, in a blue way, like hierarchical, it has many standard procedures and everything, then you definitely need 3, and you need a lot of it, not just something like, yeah, that's nice, but you need someone to say, you do knowledge management now. So that's my learning for the moment. But maybe we can discuss about it afterwards, and you can tell me what else I missed in the entire procedure. Thank you very much.